Hello everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, you guys asked for it and of course I am giving it to you. We're going to be talking about the Brittany Dawn She Lives Freed retreat. So if you guys do not know, Brittany Dawn is a content creator that I've talked about many different times on this channel. She is a content creator that is falling under the category of Christian content creator that has, in my opinion, been involved with many different scams and unethical actions. We actually, not too long ago, recently talked about her being involved with a situation about allegedly scamming an individual out of a fundraiser she hosted for him and so much more. And not to mention she is actually going to trial because she has apparently scammed people out of a lot of money because of fake fitness courses that actually she did not have the education for and did not actually provide what she said that she was going to. Nonetheless, this is somebody that has a major problem with scamming in my opinion and just being an unethical, untrustworthy content creator. And with that though, she has many other things that she does on the side that I wanted to talk about and get into. Now again, you guys please stay tuned and subscribe to the channel because I am going to be also talking about Brittany Dawn and her foster care situation, how I think that that's a very dangerous thing that she is involved with right now, and how she is not someone that should be involved with this because of her and her husband's very dangerous and unethical past. But we are going to be diving into the She Lives Freed retreat. So before I hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button down below. My vlog channel, podcast, and so much more is going to be there also, so if you guys want to check it out. And now without further ado, let's get into it. But before we actually get into today's video, since I'm actually filming this in the morning right now, I am going to be taking something with you guys and talking about something that has been a part of my new routine. Now, I'm also very particular about things that I take when it comes to my health and wellness. And so with that, I've been taking Magic Mind. So this cute, adorable little bottle is something that has been a game changer for me. This is a sweet tasting matcha drink that helps with boosting your energy, helps you relax with adaptogens, keeps you focused with nootropics, and has additional vitamins like vitamin C, D, and more. Full transparency, yes, of course I love coffee, but also the effects stop working after a bit. And after taking this for several days, I personally felt way more alert throughout the day, way longer than I have in a long time, which I was really surprised by. I am all about products that help me with my alertness and clarity, and I really feel like this has added the boost that I needed that I don't feel like coffee is touching. Two things that I want to talk about that truly stood out with me when it comes to this brand. One, when I went on the website, as you guys know, I dig into products that I talk about and promote. When I tell you that this brand is so transparent that they literally had studies linked to every single ingredient so I didn't have to hunt for it, I was like, oh yeah. And then secondly, if you genuinely do not like this product at all, which that is okay, they have a 60-day money-back guarantee, which is absolutely wonderful. They refund 100%, no questions asked. And Magic Mind is an absolute sweetheart and wanted to give you guys a discount code. So if you actually go right now to the description below, you guys can actually save 56% off of your first subscription today for the next 10 days. So that is code Isabella20 for 56% off of your first subscription in the first 10 days. So go now and start the Magic Mind today. And now let's start getting into some statements that aren't backed by science. So let's start off with what is She Lives Freed. So if we actually look around, She Lives Freed was a bit of an organization or just kind of page or topic that was created by Brittany Dawn, especially when she wanted to dive into her highly religious content creation and posting. So again, if you guys remember, Brittany Dawn was originally mainly a vlogger slash fitness influencer. That was what she mainly did, which honestly, again, there's nothing wrong with just talking about your fitness journey and everything. I mean, I'm starting to actually do that on mine, but like I'm not making outlandish medical claims or trying to create diet plans when I have absolutely no education on that. But anyways, the page that she called is She Lives Freed is dedicated to talking about Jesus and pretty much bringing people to God and connecting other women to God, apparently. The bio is showing there is freedom and imperfection, peace in your broken pieces through Jesus. Founder, real Brittany Dawn. So she's posted a lot on there that again is more religious based, which is going to draw a very specific demographic. But another thing that she does to draw a specific demographic in is her retreat. So here is the website that talks about showing there is freedom and imperfection, peace in your broken pieces through Jesus. So she says in January of 2021, we hosted the very first She Lives Freed retreat in Austin, Texas. We have hosted 4 more retreats and one large event where we have had the honor of watching women walk into freedom with Jesus. In January of 2023, She Lives Freed will be branching out to host their next retreat in Oklahoma. This will be a gospel-centered weekend where speakers will share their hearts on preparing for the difficult seasons, staying faithful on your walk with the Lord, and how our seasons of difficulty often lead to our kingdom calling. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you are coming to the right place. She Lives Freed is a space where all are welcome. Every past has redemption. Every story has a God-given purpose. So at first, again, I just like to vocalize this. I was someone who used to be a very highly religious person. I was a very big time Christian back in my day. And now I am not religious at all. I want to kind of be very clear with this. I have no problem with anyone practicing religion as long as you are not using your religion to prevent other people from having access to basic human rights or hurting other people. I really don't care. Whatever you believe in, that's great as long as long as you are not hurting other people or falling into the cult mentality, I think that's really great. Good for you. Congratulations. The idea of organizing people with your religion and having a getaway, I think is so great. But the biggest thing that is the problem with this is the fact that it is with Brittany Dawn. Like that already in itself is a huge red flag. So right here they're saying where Broken Bow, Oklahoma, you will receive details via email upon signing up. It was from January 20th to the 22nd. So it was a pretty short one, I would say. And the cost was going to be $600. So the price was all inclusive. So your stay, food, any other activities apparently. And then that is not including traveling. So if you were coming out of the state, you were going to have to cough up that money and transportation, everything on your own. But for the cabin and food and apparently paying Brittany still, $600 was the ticket. So I want to pull up the actual cabin because I did find it. So this is actually the screenshot that I was able to find that was about the cabin. So this is apparently a 30 guest space that can have 7 bedrooms, 7 full bathrooms, and it's around almost 9,000 square feet, around nearly 10, which is pretty damn good, okay? So I was doing a little bit of math and quoting on this. So it says that it's $1,500 per night allegedly. So if we actually do the math on that, so that would be, I think, around $3,000. And so here is my thought process too. I think from what I was told, there was around 12 people that attended this event total that were ticket receivers. So if we do 12, of course, times 600, that is going to be 7,200. Now, I mean, again, I'm not a rocket scientist by any means, but 7,200 minus 3K, that is around $4,200 left. And of course, you are able to pay for food, which I wouldn't necessarily think that would take up all of that by any means. What I'm saying is I feel like that was a big moneymaker right there for Brittany, in my opinion. And then also for me, I don't know, it just feels like that was a really expensive cabin that they purchased. Like, in my opinion, if Brittany wanted to do the make a good vibe and have nice cabins, but at the same time not make it so expensive for people, I think that's possible. So for me, I feel like it was more of the look versus the actual effort, the actual event. So what I mean by that is why did she go for a cabin that was $1,500 a night when I'm literally able to go on to many other different Airbnbs and find great options that are pretty affordable in my opinion, where you don't actually have to spend that much money on people's, or you don't have to ask people to spend that much money. Because again, $600, not including travel, I think is pretty pricey, especially for a religious event that has to do with Brittany. Now, again, if you're going to like another church event, my biggest thing is this is Brittany Dawn we're talking about. This is just not, I'm not going to give the benefit of the doubt to that individual. We have clearly seen a pattern, in my opinion, of her trying to do cash grabs or manipulating information or misinforming you or making random threats. So this is not someone that I would trust per se to drop $600 from to listen to in regards to the gospel or Bible in general. Now, of course, there must have been something else that was involved, not just the stay and food. And yes, so Brittany Dawn actually had it to where the attendees had access to gift bags. So for me personally, I'm expecting a good amount, right? I'm thinking, okay, if someone spends $600 and you don't need that many people to spend $600 to cover everything, you're still making a good profit, then you should be able to get pretty good goodie bags. So I was looking over the goodie bags. Oh my God, please be for real, Brittany. They were so bad. And here's another thing I would like to point out that some people might not realize. So when it comes to certain events, you actually have a chance to be quote unquote sponsored or partner with the brand for that. So actually a long time ago, I was looking into having and hosting my own content creator event. Again, I live in Kansas, so there is not access to much influencer or content creator worlds out there, because I was really inspired by another event that I personally attended. I was like, oh my God, what if I could do that and make it a really cool experience for people? And so I wanted to make the most affordable as possible. And so when I was looking into that, I was looking into ways of getting sponsored. So what a lot of different event planners will do is they actually have the opportunity to give people access to showing off their products and brand to other people, having them try products and fall in love with them, which could actually potentially lead to long-term customers, which some people have found success in. And so with that, you were able to have it to where the brand will send you products to give to the other people in goodie bags. They are able to maybe, like for example, if it's an influencer event, they probably can like promote the product, talk about it, show the gifts that they got, which could intrigue people to check out the brand in general, which could be a really great way of marketing. Or just because they have good connections with content creators, they can sometimes do that. And so with that, a lot of the products can be sent completely for free, meaning Brittany doesn't have to pay anything for that. So from what I'm getting is I think allegedly she was sponsored. And so with that would look like, one, it was a cheap goodie bag in my opinion, but two, anything else that was sent to her was, I believe, for free. And so with that, again, it didn't cost her to hold these goodie bags or anything. So I feel like she did come out with a decent profit, and it wasn't anything special, which again, if you're going to host something and if you're already rocky with your reputation, I would want to go all out personally. And I thought it was definitely disappointing in my opinion. What else was happening during during this. So that, of course, the usual stuff would happen where they would get there, they would meet everyone. There would be a lot of worship, a lot of praying, a lot of sharing stories, just a lot of things that I think that if you have been to something like this or have experienced in a religious setting, this is a lot of stuff that has happened in the Christian aspects. One thing I want to talk about that really rubbed me the wrong way was something that I went to a long time ago as a kid, and then to this. All the praying and joyful worship and everything sounds good, okay, but there was a specific pattern with some people, even Brittany herself, talking about exhaustion and being tired. And one thing that really irks me that I know for a fact happens in many different mission trips or retreats or settings is the exhaustion factor. And so what happens, in my opinion, in certain culty areas or in non-culty areas is, in order to make you feel something emotionally, there is a lot of work and effort and physical work that drains you. So therefore you're very tired. There's a lot of emotional exhaustion. And so then when the emotional play and music goes out and everyone shares their trauma, makes you feel like something is happening to you and impacting your life. Now, again, I witnessed this in my own experiences with religious settings. I've also witnessed this in MLMs, other cults I've witnessed. Again, I'm not saying every religion is a cult. I think a lot of them can be. And I think that Brittany handled it in a way that was, in my opinion. And so for talking about absolutely insane exhaustion, I think is wild, because when I think about this, you would think that the concept of Jesus brings you rest. Wouldn't that be evoked in this setting? So I don't know why there was such a focus on exhausting people, going to bed really late, waking up really early, and multiple people talking about how exhausted they were, but they feel so much better. I feel like when you're tired, you're going to be a little bit more on edge. You're going to be a little bit more emotional. I know I am. And so I feel like that was what happened with this, which makes me very uncomfortable, to say the least, because that should not be what you have to do in order to worship God, right? Like, that's just a little bit too much in my opinion. And for a weekend that is supposed to be kind of like revamping your feelings and making you feel good and ready for your year, this just honestly sounded exceptionally culty in my opinion. And again, maybe it's just me, but even for another thing I would like to talk about, well, yes, I know that they play games. Like, one of them was like called Christianity, which is like a Christian version for Cards Against Humanity, which sounds boring as hell in my opinion, but it just sounded very weird. So I want to talk about the problems though with the retreat. So first of all, the cost per person 100% seems way too much. And I feel like it was more of I want to show people that I can give a good show and that I can make a good amount of profit off of it and try and charge you a decent amount, even though none of it was necessary to begin with. And again, especially $600 to meet Brittany and have someone who literally contradicts herself very consistently in her own religious beliefs is such a waste of money in my opinion. Two, I actually think that this situation is prepping for her case. Right now, she is on rocky grounds, especially with her reputation. That's not going to change. However, what I've been told is her case is actually going to be starting and initiating in the month of March, meaning there is a lot that is going to be happening there. And I feel like, especially because there's so much that's going to be happening with this, and honestly, the trial might not end well for her. Honestly, peace and love, thoughts and prayers to you. I really hope it doesn't go in your favor. However, the biggest thing that she has going for her is that demographic of highly religious people. Something that I have noticed from my own personal experience and from others is there are a lot of people who are religious that stick with religious people. Sometimes, maybe knowingly or unknowingly, there are times where you sit there and trust people more because they are religious. It is just something that I noticed. And so what I'm saying is, I feel like doing these events is helping her and her public image when it comes to the audience that she has, which is a Christian-based audience, because her pushing, I'm saved, I'm better, I would never do that stuff again. Why is anyone thinking about that? It paints her as a better person and a victim of this, even when in all reality, the people who were scammed out of a lot of money, in my opinion, were the actual victims to begin with. I feel like, again, to kind of keep her career going and flourishing, hosting these events is very good. It gives her a better image to the public that she is targeting right now. And I feel like it makes them like her more, whereas a lot of people who are outside of this or already do not like her in any way or are not brainwashed by her perspectives are genuinely like, this is not a good person, this is not a logical person, and this is someone who is scamming people, in my opinion. And one other thing that I wanted to mention that was a huge problem when it comes to these events is the marketing about it. One thing that really icks me out with Brittany is she has utilized very specific things or issues throughout her entire career. This is not just old, this is very recent too. She has used specific vulnerable people and things for her own benefit and gain, in my opinion. Again, an example of this is I believe she used James, which was the poor man who was struggling with addiction and homelessness, I truly feel like she utilized him big time for attention and financial gain. That is my personal belief. I also believe that she exploited a lot of people, in my opinion, for financial gain and on social media, like the fitness stuff that she did. Now, this time, I think she's exploiting people in these religious settings because, as I personally have experienced, when you were in these settings, sometimes people tell their personal traumas and stories. I literally remember sitting through church sermons where there was a lot of trauma being displayed, which if you feel comfortable sharing your trauma, that's absolutely great that you have a healthy space to do so. However, that is not for everyone to hear. And I'm pulling up the screenshot right now because it genuinely made me so upset. I do not like on her website right here how she has it to where there's images of these people and testimonies of things that they experienced or things that they've gone through and how She Lives Free has made things better for them. I do not like that. There was actually, and again, trigger warning here with like pregnancy and abortion, but there was a story over here and I will not show the photo. I do not want people, like, that's too much. I don't care if there's not a name attached to it. This is personal stuff I don't think should ever be on a website in general. This poor girl was talking about how she received healing from She Lives Freed from the trauma of an abortion she had at 14 years old. Now, that is a very personal story that I don't think should be on anyone's internet, at anyone's website to promote an event. If someone wants to say, I felt better, I felt connected to God, I was able to heal from trauma, yeah, that's great. Even if someone told you that, I feel like Brittany's responsibility should have been to alter that so that way that person's image is not there. However, I think that was used because the more traumatic it sounds, in my opinion, the better it sounds for her because she was able to help someone get through this. When in reality, she is not qualified, she's not an ethical person, and in my opinion, she is really milking the hell out of these traumatic stories for her own personal gain. So that broke my heart for this individual, big time. Now, also, since we thought that this was going to be it, no, Brittany's actually currently apparently planning another retreat right now, which is quite sudden after this one. They're apparently looking at Florida or Tennessee, something like that, where they want to host a second one in April, which again, March is when her actual court case is. I personally believe, especially with her planning another one, I think that she has this illogical belief that that court case will go completely fine because I don't know how in the world you would have the mental capacity or even want to run a retreat if you literally lose a case against Texas. Like, I can't even wrap my head around that. And again, maybe she's thinking that she can do that because she'll be surrounded by other people. And maybe if she's telling her testimony about losing this case and it's a sob story, then people wrap her arms around her and pray over her and then she'll look like the damn victim, which I believe she wants to look like the victim. That's just my honest belief on this. But again, I think that's also wild too because there are upfront costs when it comes to hosting an event. So again, she's going to have to spend money to reserve a location on all these other things. And if you have the chance of losing a couple $100,000 to $1 million because of a lawsuit, what the fuck are you doing? Hosting stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? A different level of delusional, in my opinion. Also, I would like to add, why is she hosting another event when she literally has, a couple weeks ago threatened multiple Reddit users and YouTubers that she was going to sue them for defamation? I know her lawyers are not proud of her. They're just proud that she is this illogical to utilize them because they're probably having her pay them a ton of money, which I don't blame them. I probably would milk the hell out of a scammer too if I was them. All I'm saying is she is spending so much money for them preparing for her case and then to allegedly dig up information about Reddit users and YouTubers to sue them. You do not have enough money to be messing around like that. Brittany Dawn does not have, unless someone is giving her more or she has some hidden business that we don't know about, there is no way that she has enough money to be ready and prepared or is being responsible enough to be prepared to lose a lawsuit, which I personally think she's gonna. But then additionally, to have these lawyers working so much to look over people like me? I don't even know. Final thoughts for me for this entire situation. One, I 100% think this is a crash grab and a way of pushing her reputation in a positive light, pushing herself as the victim and a good person. I feel like that should never have been that expensive. I truly think it was a waste of time. And I truly think at the end of the day, if you are someone who is religious, full respect, you can find very good and ethical people you guys can do that together and make it a great experience. And again, very ethical people that are Christian. I know they exist. I know that there are things like that can exist. You don't have to settle for some goofy scammer. Don't do that. Do not waste your money on this person because honestly, you're probably going to regret it later. Then additionally, I want to say also is I feel like this entire situation was very manipulative and another way to do whatever she can to make her look good in the eyes of her target demographic. This whole thing just made me feel very uncomfortable and icky. And I feel like if she wanted to just do something really nice, she could have been like, oh my God, hey, I'm hosting an event in Texas. If you want, you guys can come down and you can make it a very affordable event if she wanted to, I don't know, make it affordable and more nice for other people. But that's just me. Additionally, too, I wanted to kind of mention as well, she has an area where apparently people can donate to this event too. I would love to know more about the donations and how much money is being funneled through She Lives Free. That's something I'm very curious about. The money, what is actually working, what is not, how much she is making, etc. I personally think that some of this is a cash grab and an extra source of income for her. Yeah, that was kind of it for today's video. So a little bit short, a little bit sweet, but I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Brittany Dawn case. Also, if you guys have any other perspectives or information about her and the foster care system or issues that she is as involved with that, please email it to me. My email is in the description below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this as well because I am currently working on a video as well for that. So that way we can also discuss the issues with the foster care system and how Brittany is a part of that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see my angels in the next video. Bye.